Are you thinking about living in Farragut? Because this is one of the most popular areas for people relocating to Knoxville. But here's what most people don't realize until they actually get here. Farragut looks great on paper, but living here day to day is a completely different experience. So today, I'm going to walk you through what it's really like to live in Farragut. Not just stats, not just home prices, but what it actually feels like, the good, the bad, and who this area is actually right for. And make sure you stick around until the end, because there's one thing about Farragut that can completely change whether or not you should live here. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything about living in Knoxville, Tennessee, make sure you hit subscribe. My name is Brandon, and I've lived here my whole life. And I've helped people move to Knoxville every single week, and honestly, Farragut comes up in most conversations that I have. So if you're watching this, you're probably trying to figure out, is this the right area for you? So whether you're moving in 9 days or maybe 90 days, or you're just starting to explore, feel free to reach out. Call, text, email, whatever works best. All right, so let me start with this. When I first started showing homes in Farragut, one thing stood out immediately was it felt more expensive. And you could just tell the homes, the neighborhoods, everything felt a little more elevated, compared to other parts of Knoxville. But at the same time, the traffic here was noticeably worse. And that's something that I didn't fully understand until I started spending more time here. So now here's something that's interesting, and this is coming from me doing this since 2009. When the market was really bad, Farragut, it definitely did get hit, but it didn't stop like the other areas did. And what I noticed over time was that it recovered faster and the values held stronger. So this area has always had a reputation of being more stable, and that's a big reason why people are drawn to it. Now, let me tell you a story, because this is where it really starts to make sense. I had a client named Jeremy. His family, they actually lived in Farragut. We sold their home so he could move to England. And everything was fine until it wasn't. And eventually they made a decision to come back. And when they came back, they came right back to Farragut. And the reason was because of the schools. So that was the driving factor for them. Out of everywhere that they could have gone, they chose to come back here to be in the school system again. Now, on the flip side, I've always had some people come here and they're thinking that Farragut was exactly what they wanted, and then something changed. We drive around, look at homes, and they'd start noticing the traffic, and that became a big problem for them. So, or they came in with a budget, let's say that it was around $500,000, and they realized pretty quickly that their money didn't go as far. And that's where the shift happens, because then we go back to other areas and they'd see that they could get a bigger home with more updates or same price. And suddenly Farragut didn't make sense for them. Now let's talk about what the life actually looks like here, because this is where people either love it or it's not for them. If you live in Farragut, a lot of your life revolves around this area. You've got Turkey Creek right here, which is basically the main hub. You have restaurants and shopping and groceries. Everything that you need is right here. You have Kroger, Publix, Fresh Market, Ingles, you're covered. But here's the trade-off: traffic, especially around Turkey Creek. And if you've ever been here around Christmas, you already know it gets bad, like really bad. And this is something that people don't think about until they're actually living here. Dropping kids off at school, picking them up, running errands, all of that is happening at the same time that a lot of other people are doing the exact same thing. So patience really is important here. Now, one thing I really like about Farragut is the Greenway. There are some really good walking trails here, and it's a big lifestyle perk. But here's something most people don't realize. Just because you live in Farragut doesn't mean you're close to it. So if that matters to you, you need to be intentional about where you buy. Now, let's talk about who Farragut is actually for, because this is where people either make the right decision or the wrong one. Farragut is great for people who prioritize schools, want a stable area, and they're okay with a little more traffic in exchange for the convenience. But it's probably not the best fit if you want, open space or don't want to deal with traffic at all, or that you're a country style living person. Those people usually don't love it here. And honestly, I live in Farragut. My kids go to Farragut schools, and I can tell you from experience, it works really well as long as you understand what comes with it. And the biggest thing is patience. If you can handle that, this area can be a great place to live. Now, here's the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this. Not all of Farragut is the same. 2 homes just a few minutes away can feel completely different. So just picking Farragut isn't enough. You need to pick the right part of Farragut. So if you're thinking about moving to Farragut and you want help figuring that out, where to look, what fits your budget, and if this area actually makes your lifestyle, reach out to me. Call, text, email, whatever works best. All my info is in the description below, and I'd be happy to help you make this move as smooth as possible.